Welcome to the ZB Philly Sports Podcast. This is episode 21, our Joel Embiid episode. Zach, how would you like to get us started?
It's a glorious time, even though there's snow outside. It's officially baseball season once again.
Yep.
We just won the Super Bowl. That was already a high.
Yeah, that was amazing.
And now
we'll get into
baseball
that later,
season,
but it was amazing.
Baseball season's back. Phillies are back. Just a great time to be alive and to be Philly sports fan.
Yeah.
We have about a week from Saturday until our first postseason game.
Yep.
Or preseason game.
Yeah.
Which should be fun. Other than that, for the Phillies, really nothing.
Yeah, just pitchers and catchers reported today. We're recording this Tuesday the 11th.
Yep. We will probably get into more of our picks and previews and something I would like if we could do like a lineup prediction.
Okay. Yeah, that would be cool.
For like opening day, that would be pretty cool. That'll all probably come next week when we literally have nothing to talk about because the Flyers are on break and the Sixers go on break this weekend and no more Eagles. So
we're
gonna have.
We only got a couple weeks of March Madness.
We only got a couple weeks of March Madness. We could preview some spring training games. I think I saw somewhere that other than college basketball, there's nothing on.
Wow.
Other than the Four Nations.
Yeah.
But
that would be interesting to watch.
Games that matter.
Yeah.
Matter.
Yeah.
On. So. Yeah.
Yeah. Speaking of Four Nations, you just want to move right on to the Flyers?
Yeah. Let's get right into it. We ended the first part of the season on a higher note. We did not go in with a what's what I'm looking for, a losing streak,
right?
Which is better than nothing. Still below 500. Trying to think of the last time we recorded.
I don't know. I was just gonna go like February so far.
So if let's actually start at the beginning of the losing streak. Basically, after our game we went to and saw them win in overtime, they dropped a bunch of games. But we're gonna start after. We're gonna start on the 29th of January when it's all started. We went 9 straight periods without a goal, losing 5-0 to New Jersey after a couple days before beating them 4-2.
Yeah.
Losing 3-0 to the New York Islanders. And then losing 2-0 to Colorado. Just nothing getting it done.
I even started watching the games. And then that happened, and I was like, I'm going to watch the Sixers right now.
Then we finally got a point, but still losing.
Yeah.
We lost to Utah in overtime. And then made a very questionable trade. If you guys followed the TikTok, it was posted on there. My thoughts. I'll get into it a little bit on here. Looking at it more in depth. And I'm pretty sure by then we'll get into the Sixers trade deadline.
Yeah.
When we get to the Sixers. Both teams kind of did the same thing and got rid of cap space. It's pretty much what it was. Morgan Frost was up for a contract extension next year, which we would have had to pay him $4 million a year, basically. Which, if you're a NHL fan, you did see that they also upped the cap space. So we got rid of cap space, but also we gained even more with the add-on. So basically, pretty much all it was got two good-ish wingers from the Flames. Frost and Farabee will be very well missed.
I was annoyed about Farabee because just a couple days before he was doing the Saquon celebration.
Yep. But Kuzmakov, in his first game, made a pretty big impact. On the first goal of the game, he assisted it. So
I don't think we've talked about it on here since it happened, but I did say to you, I don't know if you remember or not, Kuzmakov, however you say his name, he is an English-speaking Russian, so it should help Michkov.
Yep.
That's
Him and
some point I saw
Michkov,
someone make.
Another point I was about to get on, and I'm glad you made that point. He also played with Michkov.
Oh.
So they have played together.
Yeah.
Which is good. I don't know if you've seen, but there is a video out there of the before the Pittsburgh game of him and Michkov kind of making jokes with each other, which in the next game, which he wasn't here for yet, we lost 4-3 in Washington. Michkov did have 2 goals.
Yeah.
So could be a turning point for Michkov to be like a more like positive note for Michkov. And then ending with a 3-2 win over Pittsburgh. I don't care if Pittsburgh's our only win a year. The more we beat Pittsburgh, that's all I care about.
Yeah.
As a Flyers fan, just like you are for Ohio State, Michigan, you circle those games on your calendar every year, and when you win, it's a winning season. Couple guys out for 4 Nations. Konechny, Sanheim are on Team Canada.
And they play tomorrow?
Yes.
Okay.
Westalainen was supposed to be for the Finnish. He has since been dealing with injury, so he said that he will not be playing, which better for us. And Sam Ersson will be the starting goaltender. I don't know if he's going to be the starting goaltender, but he'll be a goaltender for Sweden. Do you want to get into 4 Nations?
Yeah, we can. I'm trying to look something up right now about it.
So, 4 Nation, just some points. It's going to start with a round robin. Starts tomorrow, goes till next Thursday. Well, the championship game will be next Thursday. So it goes 5 days of round robin. We have Canada, Sweden tomorrow at 8 p.m. U.S., Finland at 8 p.m. on Thursday. Saturday, Finland, Sweden. Us at 1 p.m. At 8 p.m., U.S. versus Canada, which will probably be a very fun and entertaining matchup whenever Canada and U.S. are matched up. Always a great game. Canada, Finland on Monday, and then to wrap it up, Sweden versus USA. And then the top 2 teams the top 2 teams will make it to the championship game.
Okay.
How you get points, a little different than the NHL. 3 points per win, 2 points per overtime or shootout loss, and then obviously no points if you do lose. These are all games you can watch, Brendan.
Yeah.
They're all accessible to you.
Yeah.
If you want to watch them, you don't have to. You can.
I'll probably watch Canada versus who is it tomorrow?
Sweden.
Okay. I'll probably watch that tomorrow.
Other than that, all we can hope is our boys do well.
Yeah. I was just looking it up who made it because, like you said, we have the 4 people. This also says Tortorella was
Portowell is the coach for USA. Yep.
okay.
Yep. I forgot about that. That happened like a while ago. I do think we brought that
Yeah,
up.
we probably did.
And I don't want to dive too deep into free agency just yet for NHL because
I did want to say something about that.
actually when we get back from Four Nations, which is the 22nd, is our first game at least.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know when NHL's first game back will be, but about just under 2 weeks later, Friday, March 7th is the deadline. So a lot of names being thrown out there.
It's a pretty late deadline.
Wistelainen, his name's been thrown out there. Lawton's name's been out there. We've been in rumors of getting. I can't think of his first name. Not Josh. John Gibson, I think his name is.
I have no idea.
Goalie for the Anaheim Ducks.
I still haven't seen any. The last Flyers thing I saw on social media was when they made the trade.
Okay.
But with Eagles in the playoffs, that's all it's been full of.
Yeah, pretty much. Yeah, John Gibson. He's a Pennsylvania boy. Originally from Pittsburgh, though, so most likely probably a Pittsburgh fan.
Yeah.
Which we don't need another one of those. The last one didn't even play for us and wanted out of here, but we don't think too much about him. He's not even from Pittsburgh. He was just a Pittsburgh fan.
Right.
Pittsburgh fan from Scottsdale, Arizona. Anyway, I just a little thoughts here, not to get too deep into it, because again, we have a lot of time before then. Two needs by the Flyers are a starting goaltender. Not saying Ersson and Fedorov are awful, just
could
not
be
the
better.
best. Could be better. The guy that shall not be named definitely screwed us a little bit for what he did.
Yep. See, I even know what you're talking about.
Yeah. A lot of Philly fans do. I don't know. It's a tank year, it seems like.
Yeah, they're last in the standings right now.
I rather them tank. It's been a rebuild for a couple years now. It's still a very tough side of the NHL.
Yeah.
Well, realistically, only 60. Well, only 5 points out.
Which
6 points out of a wild card spot from the last wild card spot. 7 points from the first wild card spot,
which isn't unrealistic.
It's not realistic at all. 13 spots back from the Devils, which probably not going to get there. But saying the Red Wings go on a 3-game losing streak and a bunch of teams that are above us go on a 3-game losing streak.
Yeah, and we get hot.
You get hot. You play Pittsburgh twice in let's talk about coming out of Four Nations. You have Edmonton, Pittsburgh. You have Pittsburgh within 2 days. One at home and one in Pittsburgh.
Sorry to cut you off, but Joel Embiid is officially active tonight.
Oh, yes, that's good for it's good for Zach's lock tonight. So 2 Pittsburghs, Winnipeg, Calgary, and Winnipeg, and then Seattle again. At least just Winnipeg there. Or not Winnipeg, just Pittsburgh there. If you could beat Pittsburgh 3 times in February, that's gonna get your fans back into the franchise.
Yep. Now is the time
Ottawa.
they gotta start winning, since all those football fans are looking for something to do.
You play Ottawa March 11th. You still play Montreal twice. You play Ottawa twice. You play Columbus, who's also in front of you. You play them one more time, and we've had, I think, we're 3-0 in the season series. Montreal, I think I said Montreal twice. You play Rangers one more time. Thought we had one more Islanders, but it doesn't look like it. You do have New York one more. Both New York teams one more time. You've also got strong Toronto Maple Leafs. You got Dallas. You got Washington. You got You've still got tough games. You win most of those. Are we talking different scenarios?
Yeah.
Do you trade Lawton for a starting centerman? Do you go get a centerman in free agency next year and say, well, let's scrap the rest of this year, go get...
Are there any interesting free agents, like big names?
Yes and no. I guess we can get into it a little bit here.
Yeah, I have questions about Four Nations as well.
Centermans. The thing about hockey is you could be in your 30s and still be young, basically.
Yeah.
Steven Stamkos is 35. Could you get 5 more years out of him? Maybe. Ellis Lindholm, he's 30. Could you realist? Oh wait, that's this year. Hold on. Let's go. There you go. John Tavares, who's 34. Could you get 5 years out of him? He'd be 36 starting next year.
Yeah.
Nicholas Backstrom is 37. Could you get 2 or 3 years out of him? Garland is 32. He's about $5 million a year. Could Sam Bonnet, who is 28, who I think they should go after.
I think it's funny. I've never heard any of these names before.
He's about $4.4 million. Could you give him 6 for 3 years? That gets him to 31, and I don't. It's you could even just go down this list and be like, okay, Sam Steele, he's 27 years old. He's $1.2 million.
Yeah.
How good is he actually?
Yeah.
How good could he be? I pull up stats now. Let's look him up. Live look up here. Sam always got a nice stash. You'll be the stash bros. 2024 season. 53 games, 4 goals, 13 assists, 17 points, a -2. Could that be someone that you go chase? He's at the age of 27. He's an unrestricted free agent. So
how old is Michkov?
19, 20.
That's what I thought.
You're realistically gonna look for a number 1 guy.
Yeah.
Another a number 1 centerman. I don't know. There's. Could you trade Lawton for a number 1? Yes. And then could you go get Steele?
Maybe Earson will look really good in the Four Nations, and we can get someone good for him.
I wouldn't think you would trade. You would probably. My ideal would be trading. You could trade Anaheim some prospects for him, or Wissalainen for him. There's a lot of guys that I could see being on the move this year too. So
yeah. Well, to tie us back to the Four Nations, I had a point I wanted to make. This should probably help free agent recruiting, like NBA All-Star Game does.
Mm-hmm.
Because you are spending so much more time together than you would normal NHL All-Star Game, I think.
Yeah, and again, you don't know who these guys play. Like NHL is so different than everything else because Michkov is probably playing over in you could be a 16-year-old over here in the States. You can go over to Russia and play the professional hockey league, and OCHL or whatever it's called, or the
Yeah,
KHL, or the Finland League, or the Sweden. Like, so it's so hard that you have to look at those guys
right.
drafting. You could draft. It's just.
I had a question about
Um,
it, and I don't even remember the question anymore.
I need a. Yeah, I need a deep dive into. So my plan is I'm gonna deep dive in, um, and just kind of get back into my hockey groove. Not
All right.
been in my hockey groove, so just like kind of deep dive into it and be like, who are potential candidates are.
Yeah,
If anyone's out there watching who is a big Flyers person, let us know if I sound like an idiot.
that'd be funny.
Too. So we'll get more onto NHL free agency either next week or into next weekend. We have 2 weeks after Four Nations. So yeah, you want to get into basketball here?
Yeah, sure. Um, to start us back, I'll just recap trade deadline. Like
Yeah.
you started with the Flyers, we got Jared Butler. He's still a very young player. I've seen like two of his games so far in his career. He looks good. I don't know where he's going to fit at this moment, but he's more of a G League guy right now, so doesn't need to fit here yet. Quentin Grimes, I personally do actually really like the trade because Caleb Martin, yes, I was a huge fan of him too. Kind of sad to see him go, but he wasn't too what's the word? He would have hot and cold flashes. That's basically what I'm trying to say. Like his best game so far was against the Celtics when he made however many threes. Since then, hasn't had too many great games. Still great defender. Quentin Grimes, I could argue, is equal, maybe a little bit better of a guard defender. That's the issue, though. Grimes, he is a guard. Caleb Martin, you can play him at the 2-3, maybe even the small forward. Quentin Grimes, also very good shooter. Besides that, we got 5 second-round picks back, and we got under the luxury tax.
That's good.
So, yeah. I'm hoping with these moves, it made enough room where we can re-sign Yabusele. That's my takeaway from it all. And like I said, we traded away Caleb Martin. We traded away KJ Martin as well, which I probably said this in one of our first episodes. They signed him basically to trade him. They signed him to a larger contract so it would be easier to trade away in a bigger trade. We also traded Reggie Jackson. I expected him or Kyle Lowry to be gone because they basically are the same player at this point in their careers, and you don't need two of them. I would have liked us to get another guard. Lonnie Walker's still out there. They could buy out his contract and bring him in. He's from Reading, I believe. I liked him when he was in the NBA. I would like him to be on this team. I don't know. And we traded away 3 second rounders and 1 first rounder. Basically, like you said for the Flyers, it was to get salary cap stuff.
Yeah. I'm starting to get back into my Sixers basketball.
Yeah.
Um,
I've
my
been
NBA.
watching most of the games so far this month.
Okay.
Most, if not all, the
I've watched
games
a
I've
couple.
tuned into. Not necessarily watching the entire game, but I've tuned into most of them.
I was watching the Bucks game the other day, and I was just like,
Yeah, you told me Maxey and Embiid had what 50 before the entire team had 70.
Yeah.
And that 8-point game at the end, but I believe it was like a 20-some point differential at some point.
Little known fact though, I saw this before they won, but it was something on if the Sixers
Yep.
lose the day of or the day prior, the Eagles always won the Super Bowl afterwards.
Yeah.
So in 2018, they lost the night prior. Super Bowl.
Yep.
Well, the Sixers determined who was going to win that game.
Right.
So thank you, Sixers.
I'll recap some of the games. Not even go into real depth of them, but since this month has started, we lost to the Celtics by 18. We beat the Mavericks by 2. That was a very close game. Embiid was back for that game. Then we played the Heat, lost to the Heat. Nikola Jovic was on fire the entire game. If we had a normal Jovic game, we probably would have won the game. But he didn't miss a shot for a very long time. I don't know if he missed a shot the entire game, but he was just on fire the entire game. And then the next game against the Pistons, we again lost because we just let the Pistons do whatever they wanted to do. They had so much rhythm and just speed all throughout the game. Sixers could not keep up with any of it. They got into it on the sidelines. I really wish we got rid of Paul George. He doesn't look like he wants to be here. He doesn't look like he wants to play basketball in general. It's annoying to watch him on the court. And then, like you said, we lost to the Bucks. But one bright side of this week so far in the Sixers land, Justin Edwards has been signed for the rest of the season.
Oh, that's good.
Yeah, he's been very good.
He's been on fire. Yeah.
Another thing that really annoys me though, in those games that we were winning the end of last month, Ricky Council was getting like 20 minutes a game or close to it. Lately, he's been getting up to 5 minutes a game. I really don't understand it. I think this is the third or fourth time I've mentioned it this season that Ricky Council needs more minutes. I don't think it'll be like a huge game changer, but just so happens when we're winning is when he's playing a decent amount.
Yeah.
Like, if that's happening as a coach, you kind of just got to test it out, especially at this point in the season.
Yeah, and like we said, because I did a full Sixers bet earlier today, you mentioned something about if we lose today, it could be the season, or it would be the season.
Yeah, basically. Well, me giving up on the season, kind of.
Yeah. Because would probably be a lot of Sixers fans giving up.
Yeah.
But
and most of them probably have already, if I'm not going to lie.
I know we've talked about this before. We talked about the not controversy, but all about like how they don't have a first round pick or they don't have a good first round pick.
Yeah.
Could you trade, or would you, if you think that Paul George just doesn't look like he wants to play? Could you trade him during the offseason?
You could.
Because you got to think you have McCain coming back next year.
Yeah.
You sign Yabusele. You have him next year.
I love Embiid. Like I've said, I'll ride with him till the wheels fall off. But if we miss the playoffs or lose in the first round, maybe even if we lose in the second round, I will not be surprised if we said this 2 weeks ago, I would have said I wouldn't be surprised if he requests a trade. But now at this point, I wouldn't be surprised if they just trade him. With what happened with Luka, I wouldn't be surprised if they just are like, all right, Maxey McCain, this is your team now.
That was crazy. Yep. I was surrounded by a bunch of non-basketball people when that happened too. Yeah. So like I couldn't even like I'm freaking out about it, and they're like looking at me like I have 5 different heads, and I'm like,
I was asleep when it happened, and I went to work the day after, and everyone that was there that day doesn't pay attention to basketball, so they had no idea what I was talking about. Yeah, it's still insane. I wouldn't be surprised if the GM gets fired this offseason.
I was watching the game last night, his first game in LA, and that was just crazy to like look at and be like him and gold and purple.
Yeah, It's
It's
weird.
just weird.
Also,
Weird.
I pay attention to jersey numbers all the time. Him and LeBron add up to 100.
That's
There's
pretty cool.
no significance to it. I just thought it was
It's
a little
just-
neat thing.
It's cool.
Yeah.
But this, I know, it's getting off a little topic here, but this, I thought something huge was. I thought like Katie, with at this point, I wasn't rolling out like LeBron or Curry. I
Right.
thought
Yeah.
someone was going to come
So,
to the Sixers, especially
the
with.
Warriors did inquire about Paul George, and with that, we would have probably gotten Andrew Wiggins, maybe Jonathan Kuminga.
That would have been crazy. And freaking, what's his Schroeder
Yeah,
getting traded
Yeah.
and then traded again? Oh,
Yep.
This
right after
NBA.
comparing the trade deadline to modern day slavery.
It's been crazy.
Yeah.
It was a crazy time,
am-
and then a couple of days ago we had a trade get rescinded.
Yep, because Mark Williams, the Lakers didn't like what they saw during his physicals.
It's crazy.
Yeah.
Never seen that happen.
If we weren't sick, we would have obviously had a lot of stuff being posted during that time last week. But you and I were both sick.
Sick as a dog.
Yeah. But getting back into the Sixers, we play the Raptors tonight. Embiid is playing. So tomorrow against the Nets, probably won't be playing. Still, even without Embiid, we should be able to win against the Nets. And then after that, it's the All-Star break. We don't have anyone as an All-Star. I think McCain is part of the Rising Stars game on the rookie team, but obviously not playing.
Yeah.
I thought Maxey would be a replacement. He still technically could be. We'll have to see about that. He definitely deserved to be an All-Star. It annoys me so much. But then our next game will be next Thursday, the 20th, at home with the Celtics. And then at home, we actually have a 3-game home stand when we come back. Celtics in Philly, Nets in Philly, Bulls in Philly, and then we go up to New York. And then we're back home against the Warriors and Trailblazers. So they don't have much travel to do over the next 3.5 weeks. So everyone should be very well rested. And there's no back-to-backs until March 9th and March 10th. So we should have Embiid against the Celtics, Nets, Bulls, Knicks, Warriors, Blazers, Timberwolves, Celtics, and Jazz. And then he probably won't play against the Hawks.
And in that stretch, we have multiple playoff teams.
Yeah. No,
especially the Bulls.
Literally everyone in that stretch in the Eastern Conference at least is above us, besides the Nets,
and
who is
and
one
the
spot
Raptors.
behind us.
The Raptors are 5.5. But
Yeah,
the Sixers
I
are
was
only
just
a
looking
half
at that
spot
future
behind
stuff after the
behind the Bulls.
yeah,
And
we're a game
they
and a half
just got
behind
rid
the
of Zach
Bulls.
LaVine.
Right, who are on a 2-game losing streak. Magic
So, like-
are not doing very well. The Hawks got worse at the deadline, so they should be going down. The Heat, I guess you can say they got better because Butler wasn't playing for the last month. The
But
Pistons, they're going to be like the Hornets were with Kemba Walker. They will make the playoffs, but they won't go far in the playoffs.
If the Sixers could find the groove,
Yeah.
and I know we're talking finding groove with a not amazing team, but just like the Flyers, to get back to the 6th spot at least
Yeah,
is 5 games.
right.
Not even 4.5 games.
No, we are 6.5 behind the 6th spot.
Oh, sorry, 6.5. 6.5.
Yeah.
but it's 6.5. Like
And that's just getting over a
That's-
500 record. Everyone
that,
7 and below is below 500.
yeah, that's two different 3-game or 4-game win streaks.
Yeah,
So,
it's 100% possible if everyone shows up.
and the diff is now to negative 3.8, which is better than
Yeah.
it has been majority of the year. And to get to that 6th spot, it seems like if they start winning some ball games by a little bit more and get that diff to below 1, it looks like they will be right there
Yep,
in the mix of the good teams.
right.
So I again, like I said, can they start stringing a couple wins together here?
They
And
100% can. Because, like I said, we don't have an all-star. So, after this weekend, well, after
Guys can
tomorrow's
stay in the
game, they
lab
will all
and-
have a week off. And then we come back against the Celtics. Celtics should
Like-
hopefully be a statement game. Because everyone
and-
should be
and-
healthy.
they did it once. You're coming off a break. You have a
Yeah.
fresh and healthy Maxi. You have Embiid that should be playing because he just had
Yeah,
an 8-day rest
yeah.
period.
Eric Gordon should be back. He has a wrist injury right now. He should be back after that week.
And
Kyle Lowry probably would be back. And I think
Actually-
Drummond is even active again. Yeah, Drummond's active.
you got to think he's not going to play tomorrow night. So
Right.
today will probably be his last game until that Boston game.
Yep, it will be.
He won't play Brooklyn, but do you really need him to match up against Brooklyn? Not really.
No.
You could the Bulls. He'll be back. If I was the Sixers and I was like, okay, we need to start stringing some games. Just sitting here looking at the roster, being a someone who's getting back into basketball, and the way you hear about how Embiid's needs to be handled. I sit him tomorrow. I play him tonight. I sit him tomorrow. He has 8 days to come back to play Boston.
Yep.
I sit him for 2 more games. After
I
that,
don't
'cause
think
you
he'll be
really
sitting
need him.
those.
Do
Because
you really need him?
He has a rest day, so he should be playing the Nets and the Bulls and the Knicks.
I was gonna say, but at least one of those games, do you give him an extra rest so he can go play the Knicks and then turn
Yeah.
around 5 days later and play Golden State?
It wouldn't surprise me. What do you mean 5? It's 3 days later.
Oh, sorry, 3 days later.
Yeah,
Sorry, I forgot. Well, in February, the weird month, only 28 days.
but yeah,
But then you have Portland, Minnesota, Boston again, Utah. Like,
yeah.
could
Hey, I'll
could
be
you
on a
start
bet on all
going
those games too
everything after
after the All-Star break.
All-Star
Yeah.
break? But could you start stringing again? Atlanta's ahead of you. Toronto's ahead of you. You still have a Mavs game that is going to be without Luka. Who I know Houston's pretty
And
good.
they don't
I
have
know.
Anthony Davis now either.
I know Oklahoma City is pretty good. I know San Antonio just got De'Aaron Fox. You have another game.
Yeah,
against
Oklahoma City
Atlanta.
is the title favorite, betting title favorite.
You have New Orleans. You have Washington. You have in Miami. You have Toronto again. Could you even if you're just beating the teams you need to beat, can you string
Yeah,
the wins?
this will be something good to talk about next week for the Sixers. We can go through the rest of the season, see how many wins they should have at the end.
Yeah. I think one of the players has to be a team leader and go, hey guys, lock the in and let's go.
Well, they've had like 5 different moments of that happening this year.
And what happened afterwards?
They won until they started losing again.
I don't know if you saw, and I don't know if you have any more for the Sixers, but this might be a good leeway into a next topic. I don't know if you saw this, but after that bullcrap penalty, which we'll probably get into after this, Barkley went to the sideline and said, "Hey guys, lock in, shake it off. We
Yep.
all know that was a bad penalty. Just throw it out of your mind. That's it. Like, it's done.
Yeah.
Whatever." I feel like someone needs to be that, like, in game, not just like
It should be
being like
indeed.
in the group chat. It should be, whether he's playing or not. And
Yeah.
again, we're both big NBA guys, and I'm riding with him until I will even ride with him when the wheels are off. I will be the captain in that sinking ship. He needs to be even on the bench,
Yeah.
cooling down Maxi if he's missing 3 after 3 after 3. Okay, sit next to him and be like,
No, you know who
Those
it
are
should
your
be?
shots.
It should be Paul George. He has
Right.
posted more clips on YouTube in his Sixers career than he's made shots. I'm not joking.
but it's just like one of these guys is going to have to step up and be like, okay, like, Maxi, I know you're missing shots. Those are your shots. Keep shooting them.
Yep.
I want you to shoot those.
Yeah.
Don't get discouraged because you missed. Keep going. You're going to start banging those.
Yeah.
Those are going to go down like candy. Maybe we should be. Maybe the Sixers should hire us,
Yes, they should.
and we can hype them up.
Yeah. You'll be the hype man, and I'll tell them what they should be doing on the court.
I'll be in all the faces like, what?
Yeah.
Go!
They just need Patrick Beverly to come back.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's a name. That's a fucking name.
All right. You want to go on to the big topic?
The big ball. Let
Yep.
him eat.
I don't know.
What do you want to start?
Just the score in
think-
general. That
Yeah,
game was surprising.
I think
I
we're gonna
was
wait
worried
until
about it.
next. I was too, especially after that play. But I think we're gonna stay with ending the season in this podcast, and then next week we're gonna get into the whole season,
Yeah. Sounds good.
just so we can have one more wrap up. And
Yeah.
But
Everyone showed up. Saquon Barkley did everything he could. Kellen Moore.
they weren't giving him anything,
Right.
but he still caught the ball.
So, first of all, I want to say thank you to Kellen Moore.
Yes.
He had a great season with us. Hopefully, he'll do good things with the Saints. But
Sad
the
to see you
Chiefs'
go too.
defense, yeah, very. Chiefs' defense looked like a team that spent 2 weeks preparing for Saquon Barkley.
And forgot about
Yeah,
everyone else.
they said if Jalen Hurts can beat us, then they can beat us. That's
Pretty
pretty
much.
much what it looked like their game plan was.
Get beat by Jalen Hurts.
Yep. But
Not by
speaking
Barkley.
of, Carson Wentz got to sit on the bench to watch both of his backups on the Eagles win the Super Bowl.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
That is actually a crazy stat. I
You didn't see that?
did not see that.
That's funny.
I
You want to hear another funny stat?
what? That we didn't blitz once and we still had 42 sacks.
Yeah. Playoff wins since 2000. Washington 3, Cowboys 4, Jalen Hurts 6. He was drafted in
Wow.
2020.
Wow.
Yeah. And
It's just
most points scored in a single postseason in NFL history was the Eagles this year with 145. Most points
That's
scored by a
crazy.
kicker in the Super Bowl, Jake Elliott this year, 16.
that's crazy.
Yeah.
That game was just embarrassing. Actually, it was
Yeah.
a very embarrassing game.
Well, I saw the NFL posted a video of Patrick Mahomes' best plays of the game. The highlight reel started at 34-0.
Like, that's embarrassing. You got shut out for almost 3 full quarters.
Yep.
Almost 3 full quarters.
Yeah.
I don't think they scored until after the 2-minute warning
Did you see what Skip Bayless
of the
tweeted?
third quarter. Yeah.
No, I think it was a little after the 2-minute warning. But yeah. Skip Bayless, you saw when all the Eagles were at the Sixers game against the Lakers,
Yeah.
and LeBron didn't give DeJean a handshake.
Oh yeah, I did see that.
You saw
I did
Skip
hear.
Bayless?
Yeah.
Okay. I didn't know if you saw that or not.
And I forget what he said, but
He said, "Hey LeBron,
LeBron,
that guy who just picked six Mahomes, his name is Cooper DeJean. Maybe he doesn't look like he can play cornerback in the NFL, but he's on his way to being a star of a stud. 17-0, fly Eagles fly."
that was crazy.
Yeah.
That in itself, birthday boy, the storyline.
I feel like we can just sit here for an hour talking about all of the Eagles.
We could,
stuff.
but we don't have time to sit here and dissect each of that game.
Everyone has their own favorite moments that have been repeating in their head.
You got to give a clap to Kellen Moore, and you got to give a clap to Nick Fangio, and it hurts me to say, even though it looked embarrassing, Skaggs, I think, is the defensive coordinator for Kansas City. Spagnuolo.
Yeah.
He played a hell of a defense.
Yeah.
I know it doesn't look like it, but and giving Travis Kelce no catches,
right,
all game, it's just you took out the main offensive threat.
Yeah. Like Xavier Worthy had a good game in the fourth quarter when our team gave up and had the backups on him.
Yeah. Imagine if our starters play. What's the score?
60
I
something?
I think our backups were in
for most of the fourth quarter.
For when they scored the touchdown.
Yeah, like when have you seen Gatorade get poured on the coach with 4 minutes left in the game?
That was just not like really, but that was disrespectful. That's crazy.
But I did make a joke that I don't know if the Chiefs can come back because they scored one touchdown in 13 seconds, so they have time to get however many touchdowns.
Yeah, and the funny thing is, the new rule this year was that, like in prior years, Kansas City could have kicked an onside kick in the third quarter.
Yeah.
This year, it's got to be in the fourth quarter, and you have to be down.
Yeah, and they had 30 seconds left in the third quarter, and they couldn't call an onside kick.
Yeah, that's you saw Kenny Pickett. If you would have told me before this game that Kenny Pickett was going to come into the game, I would have asked you what was wrong with Jalen Hurts.
Yeah, same.
How did they injure Jalen Hurts? Jalen Hurts was just so locked in.
He proved all of his doubters wrong.
It's the Phillies' turn.
Yeah, last time Eagles were in the Super Bowl, the Phillies went to the World Series.
Oh, yeah? 2022?
Yeah.
Against this team? Maybe we'll see Houston and get a revenge. Maybe this is 2025 is the year of revenge. I don't know. It's crazy. It was unbelievable.
Yeah.
Like you said, we could sit here for hours, but we don't have that kind of time.
Right. You want to get into our predictions?
Yeah. Also, if you guys want just like an Eagles video, one more Eagles video, maybe that's what we do. Maybe we'll just sit here for 30, 40 minutes just talking birds one more time.
Yeah.
And that'll be
good time filler next week.
Yeah. So.
And we'll let all the NFL film stuff come out. Mm-hmm. I was planning on rewatching it once or twice this week.
What, the highlights?
No, the entire thing.
Oh.
What were your opinions on the halftime show?
I think it was mid at best.
I liked it, but it felt really short.
It did, but I feel like you could have played better songs.
Yeah.
As a halftime show, you're supposed to play your most popular song. I knew
but you
majority
he's got to
of his
censor
songs.
It, so.
But you could have played Swimming Pools. Could have played Mad City.
Yeah.
You could have played
Mad City he definitely should have played because it fit the vibe of what he was going for.
Bitch Don't Kill My Vibe.
Yes, but that would have to be censored a lot. Like literally
But, no,
every
not
verse
really,
would have to be censored.
because Rihanna played bitch better have my money, that song. So
Yeah,
I don't know. I feel like he could have done a remix of a bunch of songs, and
yeah, I don't know. I think the
I
whole
think,
thing was pretty much centered around teasing Not Like Us the entire time.
yeah, he just wanted to get to Not Like Us, and
Yeah.
yeah.
All right. On to the predictions. Final score. I said 45-33. You said 38-31. It was 40-22. First down. You said Brown. I said Smith. It was Smith. Started off good for me. First
You
touch.
said 60, but we're gonna give it to you.
Right. And that wasn't my choosing. That was his choosing.
That was my choosing.
First touchdown. We both. Oh no. You said Barkley. I had Barkley crossed off, and I wrote Smith 60 plus. It was Hurts with the tush push.
I thought it was Dotson. That would have been crazy.
We got all the receivers in on the game.
Yeah. Again, that's another point. Like,
Yeah.
Just keep going.
First sack, you said Bond. I said Nolan Smith. It was Josh Sweat. The whole defense had a great game. Anytime interception, we both said DeGene. DeGene and Bond both had interceptions. Defensive player of the game, we both said Barkley. But I think we agreed it was Hurts.
Yeah, he just again, not on him. He made stuff out of what he was given.
Right. Without him, they would have focused on our passing more.
I was sitting in my living room watching it when Jalen Hurts threw that beautiful dagger passing touchdown to Devontae Smith with 2 minutes left in the third quarter. I turned to my girlfriend and I said, he's the offensive player of the game. Just on that. If that was a game-winning throw right there, even if they would have lost, that throw right there would have won him.
Devontae Smith was going to have that big catch. It just
and he did.
happened at a different time of the game.
It came late. Yeah, it was beautiful.
He's always had big games against the Chiefs.
Yeah.
Yeah, offensive player of the game, we said Hurts. Defensive player of the game, you said rookie corners, I said DeGene. We agreed it's the entire defense.
All the defense.
I've talked to a few people about this, like my dad and some people even older. I said this might be the best defense that I've ever seen with my own eyes. A lot of them agreed, and they've been around a lot longer. My grandfather said it definitely rivals the '85 Bears.
At work today, it was just all about the Eagles defense. I even if anyone's on here from TikTok, I even had to go to TikTok because we just kept going back and forth like, oh well, this person, oh well, that person, oh well, this person, and it's just like you can't give it to one. You got to give it to You could even give it to. You couldn't even usually we do fourth quarter defense or third quarter defense or first quarter. First half defense, second half. We've done second half defense before, and it's like you could not from the word go to the word stop.
Right.
Other than 2 crappy touchdowns, 3 crappy touchdowns.
Yeah, and that was technically garbage time points.
No, it was garbage time points.
Yeah, but on the special team players, you said punt returners, I said kick returners. It was Elliott. Like I said earlier, he set a record, most points scored by a kicker in the Super Bowl. And I think it was Bo Allen. He said that apparently Elliott was playing through injuries all year long.
Makes sense.
Yeah. Over under 49.5. Clearly over. And Super Bowl MVP, you said Hurts, I said Barkley, and it was Hurts. So predictions, we tied 4-4.
I cared more just to win, but
well, yeah, that's how I am every week.
So I saw this video. I want to get into this quick. Devontae Smith's resume. In his trophy case right now, he has Super Bowl 2, national championships, national champ MVP, Heisman, Maxwell Award, Walter Camp Award, another another like 4 or 5 like SEC offensive player of the game, all player, like just all these like all player of the years, blah 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 blah. The fact that if you the main reason why I brought this up, and again,
Yeah.
you can go in hours of this. You just look down this roster, and Barkley was stellar in college. Johan Dotson was stellar for Penn State too. Like, you go down this roster and you look at like how did Howie? I'm still trying to wrap my brain around how Howie Roseman
I don't know,
assembled the
but
Avengers.
we might even be able to get Myles Garrett.
That's crazy. I say if you can't get Myles Garrett, trade Huff.
Yeah. Trade
Trade
with
him.
our first round pick and another pick, move up and get Abdul Carter.
Yes. Trade the Giants, or not Giants. Trade the Browns. Did you see him? He got his own Eagles custom
Yeah, I was gonna
sweatshirt.
ask you
It said
that.
"Let's Hunt,"
Yeah.
and it says number 11 of Abdul Carter.
Yeah.
I swear to God, and down in the next couple of years, Michael Parsons even said that he wants to be an Eagle, which would be absolutely crazy if you have
Who's
Abdul
number
Carter.
11 then? Abdul Carter, Michael Parsons, or AJ Brown?
Well, AJ Brown can wear it.
Yeah.
You can have offensive, defensive number 11, but
No, you can't.
I
Not
think
in the NFL.
I thought you could.
No.
I thought you could.
Nope.
Then I guess you have a 3-way fight for
As
number
far
11.
as I know, you cannot.
I thought we had a couple repeating numbers.
I don't think so.
I think we did. Willing to bet that we do.
No two players on the same NFL team cannot wear same number outside of the off season.
Okay, guess not. That's crazy. But like, you also had to think like we didn't have Nakobe Dean, and that defense was amazing,
Right.
and that defense was unstoppable.
Yeah.
And James Bradbury, but
He was apparently coaching all the young rookie corners all year.
winning Covey.
Yeah.
You didn't
he's
have him,
our
but
returner.
But like you just still like you, I don't know. I feel like you really didn't hear Huff's name either, but
Right.
I don't know. I say you trade him and a couple other pieces to get Abdul.
Yeah. No, I agree.
Or do you trade up and get Tyler Warren and do you let Dallas walk, or do you bring Dallas back? Because you have Dallas, you have Fred Johnson, you have Josh Sweat, you have Milton
We
Williams,
have a lot
you
of
have
free agents, but we will get
Warren
into that
Brooks.
when
Yeah,
it's
we'll get
closer to free
more into
agency.
that. We'll get into trades and all that. We'll get into all that next week.
Yeah.
But yeah, it was a crazy game.
Yeah, it was. I'm still in shock.
We tried to record Sunday night after the game. We said in a Eagles preview, we're going to put up a video or we're going to live stream. We both sat here trying to press the record button and said, I can't.
Yeah.
We just could not wrap our brains around what just happened.
Yeah.
And I still think I'm not ready to talk about it. It's just, other than why are we destroying our own city? Like it went a little.
They even greased the polls in New Orleans.
It went a little too far.
Yeah.
But
do you see the video of them holding up the guy in the wheelchair?
Mm-hmm.
That was cool.
Did you see they pulled out a light post and took it?
Yep.
Did you know this, by the way? both teams still have their after parties.
Really
Even the losing team still puts on their after party.
interesting.
So
That's very interesting.
Yeah.
I don't know.
I did not know that.
We'll be back next year, so
Yeah,
we'll get to see
Hopefully.
whoever that losing team is. We get to see their after party.
can we be the first three-peat?
Right. Now that would be very cool.
You beat the team
Phillies
with
Philadelphia would
three-peat.
be insane. Having 2 more Super Bowls. Phillies are doing
And
well.
I was going to say, and
we'll
potentially
have the
a
MLB
couple,
All-Star in Philly next summer.
if it doesn't burn down to the ground first. 'Cause
Right.
apparently that's what we're trying to do.
They're trying to make more flat areas for more fields.
Yeah. They're trying to help the Sixers get a new stadium. And the Flyers.
All right. You want to call it?
Let's call it
All right. See you, everyone. See you next week.
the next week.